Hello, this is DJ Ferdin with Rockistan. What am I doing here? You're about to find out. Everybody knows what's happened in Pakistan. This is big news. 21 million people displaced. People dying of sickness, people dying of having no shelter. yourDIL-Chicago is doing its part to help. Generally, they do other charity work in Pakistan. They build schools for underprivileged children. But today, even they have put that aside to come together for this cause. Pakistan really needs this. Pakistanis really need this. We're going to talk to a couple of board members of yourDIL-Chicago and ask them a couple of questions. Please pay attention.
My name is Manya, and I'm on the board of yourDIL-Chicago. And we're just going to briefly go over some of the statistics, some of the latest statistics in Pakistan. And then we're going to go over a little bit about what yourDIL is doing about it. And then Mother here, who's also on the board, will go over how your donation can go even further than it already has. To kind of, get a grasp of the tragedy in Pakistan and sort of to get y'all to wrap your mind around how, big the deadly floods have gotten is, 20 million people have been affected. That's 20 million people. So imagine the population of the city of Chicago, the Chicagoland area, and then double that. I mean, that's about the amount of people that are affected by this devastating flood. And we've got about 1,600 people that have already died. So our support is definitely needed. And 60% of those people are women and children. Vulnerable women and children that have no access to sanitation, no access to clean water, and they've actually broken out into waterborne diseases such as cholera and diarrhea and dysentery. So the situation, as we all know, is pretty bad there. We've also got about five middle schools that have been damaged in the Sindh province. And we've got students, we've got children, we've got Bill families that have been devastated. They have no more schools, they have no more educational opportunities, and more of the schools are in the path of the rising floodwaters. And so Bill is there, Bill is helping out, and we've been able to provide on-the-ground relief efforts. We've been able to provide things like shoes with the donations that you guys have been given, infant formula for the babies. We've been able to provide clothing, cooking utensils. We've been able to provide soap. So just the basic needs that we all use every single day and we don't even think about. I mean, we all took a shower today, we all had shampoo, we all had soap, socks and shoes, and those guys have lost everything. So Bill's on the ground providing these basic needs to them. And just a reminder that 100% of your donations are going directly to DIL, directly to the ground for the relief efforts. Completely 100%. So, and Mother's going to talk a little bit more about how your donation can go a little bit further.
I actually wrote this story where there was a mother that traveled for multiple days fighting waist-high water with two kids. The water was full of dead animals and filth, and she fought for miles and miles searching for a shelter. She had a newborn baby and she had a 1-year-old daughter, right? She found the shelter. So the 1-year-old daughter died as soon as she got there because she was exposed to the filth and all the dirt and the dead animals, and she didn't have access to clean water. The baby survived. Now that's good news, but then as days pass by, the baby just gets weaker and weaker and weaker because there's no access to food. When they go to these shelters, there's not enough food there for everyone. That's where we come in. So just because you make it to a shelter doesn't mean your baby's going to survive. And this is just one story. There's so many stories like this. There's a 70-year-old man that spent 30 years of his life building his food business. 3 decades building his food business. He finally got to where he was. 30 years later, he built a nice home for his family. There were 7 of them, five children, his wife and himself. And he saw it washed away just within minutes. He said, just imagine where you are right now, and then tomorrow, you have absolutely nothing. That's really scary. That's really scary. Everything that you've worked so hard to achieve is gone within a matter of seconds. So the situation is so desperate right now that there are actually some people that are not willing to leave their homes because they'd rather die than lose their belongings because they've taken so many years to achieve these belongings. So they'd rather die. So they're sleeping on their roof and they refuse to leave. So it's it just keeps getting worse. And then there's several groups that not many people are talking about. There's 500,000 pregnant women out there right now. There's blind people, there's disabled people who are having even more difficulty coping with the crisis. So my request to you is please help us triple the amount of money we have today. You all paid $25 to $30 just to attend the event, and we thank you for that. Thank you so much for attending the event.
So what is yourDIL-Chicago?
So yourDIL basically builds schools for children in rural areas of Pakistan. And so we have 150 schools. We have about 16,000 students. And we build schools. We provide them with computers, laptops, books, and just our main mission is to eradicate illiteracy in Pakistan.
Now, when I said yourDIL-Chicago, you replied with yourDIL. Is it two different entities?
No, it's not. But we have 9 chapters in the U.S. So they're in Houston, New York, San Francisco. There's tons of chapters. We have some global chapters as well. But so we run just the Chicago chapter. So today's event, we're kind of straying away temporarily from our normal mission, which is to build schools for children. The humanitarian crisis is so big. I mean, it's one of the largest that the country's ever faced, and one of the largest that the world's ever seen. So today, 100% of all funds go directly towards flood relief efforts in Pakistan.
So one question that most viewers are having, or even most people who want to give donations, their speculation is how do we make sure this money is going to the right hands, and then what is this money being used for? I saw that you guys did an awesome job with your presentation. Let's say after today, give me a timeline of what happens to the money that's raised here today.
Sure. So first of all, the money that we raise today, we send it directly to DIL. So it doesn't go to the government, doesn't go to anyone else. It goes directly to our DIL staff. Which is based in California. So we send it to them, and then they send it to Pakistan. We have 150 schools there, so we have the infrastructure and the staff to actually pass these food packages around. All the funds that are raised are going directly towards the purchase of hygiene packages, which have things like soap, shampoo, napkins, tissues, and things like that, just for cleanliness. And then we also have food packages, which have about 6 to 8 basic necessities in them that these families need to survive for 1 month. So it costs $105 to support a family of 8 people for 1 full month. So that's where all the money's going to go. We're going to make sure that our team and all these schools will actually go out there and quickly respond to this crisis and pass the food packages out to a lot of people.
How long are you guys going to continue raising funds just for the disaster relief as far as the floods are concerned?
Well, it is a disaster of great proportions. So this is the tip of the iceberg. This event that we've done solely, this event for yourDIL-Chicago was to raise money for the flood victims. And I think even in the near future, we would like to continue to do so for the next few events and to donate money there and help those so much in need. You're talking about the 20% of Pakistan's population that's sinking. It's underwater. So the more we do, the better. And we've got our own schools that have been affected by it as well. But the emphasis is to give as much more as we possibly can.
We'd like to keep helping out till they need us. So till they need us, we're going to keep helping out. So,
anything else you want to tell our viewers about yourDIL-Chicago? Yes.
We would like to add that we need a lot of volunteers. We need people to help out, and this is a grassroots effort, and we'd love for people to get more involved. And this event was great because we had a lot of people actually came up to me and the board and asked us how they can help. So I just want to make it clear that there's 3 ways you can reach out to us. One is to send an email to chicago@yourdil.org. That comes directly to me, and it'll go to Saad as well. So we'll respond to them. That's one way to get in touch with us. The other 2 ways are on Facebook. We have a profile page, yourDIL-Chai, so please add us there. And then we have a Facebook group too, yourDIL-Chicago. So once people add us there, our contact details are listed right there. So people can just add us, reach out to us, and we'll make sure we can get them connected to the right people to help us out.
Yeah. Well, it's very important. Internet is the key these days for connection. So get us on Facebook, yourDIL-Chi, basically. We'll be on Twitter as well. Approach us, send us your messages. As Mazza said, we are looking for volunteers. More people we can get, the better, to grow the chapter in Chicago and to do better things, basically. So don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.